I wanted you to see Scout. All right, hi, it's Hannah. I have not made a video in a really long time. And a little bit of that is because I feel like I haven't had ideas. I'm sitting on the floor. Hopefully Scout currently rubbing her face on the camera is not going to be too distracting, but if it is, I'm really sorry. And I'm gonna do like that so I don't look at myself anymore. So if you're watching this, hey, sorry I'm not wearing makeup, but I am drinking a coffee at, oh my god, it's 7:30. Okay. Yeah, I'm Hannah. If you see Scout's tail wandering around, if I'm talking, she usually likes to be in the room, but she also might amuse herself by going somewhere else. But literally this morning at I can look at what time I made the screenshot because that's silly. That's a coffee I sent to my sister. Oh wow, today at 12:30 a.m. I saw this on my Facebook that Billboard has announced that the Heated Rivalry soundtrack is coming to vinyl and CD. Pre-orders launching tomorrow. So that all brings me to what you've seen because that's the title of this video. Where is the tie-in cover for Heated Rivalry? And if you have not thought about Heated Rivalry today, here we go. Okay, so I have notes. I'm gonna try to make this make sense, so we'll see. But I found a blog post that kind of describes my questions, published in December. Today is March 25th. Holy crap. March 25th. And we still have crickets. Unfortunately, we are still sitting with crickets. I feel like I'm off center. I don't really know how to change that. Is that better or worse? I don't know. I want nothing more than to buy a tie-in cover of Heated Rivalry. And we'll kind of get into that. Why I'm not sure why we don't have it, to be honest. Almost 4 months, maybe almost 5 months since the show premiered. And if you have any insights, let me know. Or if you have any thoughts about this, I would also be really interested to know. Because I think it's an interesting concept and I'll kind of talk about that a little bit more. I'm going off script, but we'll get into it. But before anything else actually starts, I know that this is not Rachel Reed's fault, and I want to put that first and foremost, that I know none of this is her fault and I'm not blaming her. I am blaming her publisher, and I don't think that she could do that because they are really tied to her livelihood, but they are not tied to mine. I did some research, and at first I saw that Harlequin is her publisher, and I was like, Harlequin, the romance publisher? I stand corrected. Literally nothing on my mass market paperback shelf is a Harlequin romance, which, what does that have to say? But in a little bit of research that I did, I realized that either it's always been an imprint of, or Harlequin was bought by HarperCollins. So this goes from like Rachel Reed to Harlequin to HarperCollins, to this like big umbrella of a giant publisher, I'm sure one of the big three, who have, in my opinion, been missing out on a huge market for this book. This book in general, which I'll also get to, but what we're gonna keep going back to, the thesis of this video is where the fuck is the Heated Rivalry TV show tie-in cover, and then secondary to that, and I'm hoping that with the CD that we're about to get a like DVD, because I don't know if you can see it, I don't have my glasses on, which I already just said, but I'm sitting on the floor. Oh yeah, you can. Those are all DVDs that I have. It's fun for me to own physical media. I don't know if you can tell, but I do have DVDs. I find they're fun to me. And when shows like The Office pop around on streaming services, it's nice to know that I have it and I can watch it whenever I want. Two of my coworkers, and also Morgan, hi Morgan, are people that I've just been, since maybe, okay, I'll be honest. I waited to watch the show until every episode was out, but I did, and I can stand by this, pretty much watch everything except for some of the more graphic sex scenes, on Instagram. I saw almost everything on Instagram except for the butts, which I feel like if you watch reactions on YouTube, that's pretty much what you're gonna see. So I knew almost everything that was happening, and I was in the dialogue. So I've been talking to people in my actual life about this, plus all three of my sisters. And if you're watching this, human person at your house who is not related to me, put into the universe that my sister needs to watch Heated Rivalry. She won't, she's not watching it, and I need her to watch it. She would love it. She needs to watch it, and she's crazy. So if you're watching this video, you need to think to yourself, Hannah's sister, please watch Heated Rivalry, obviously. But, so Morgan is one of my book friends. Love Morgan, hi Morgan. But my two coworkers, not book people in the slightest. And they would be comfortable saying that, but these are two people who came over to my house to watch Connor's Story on SNL live. I've never watched SNL live, not even when One Direction was on it. And if you know me, my goodness, Sofia Vergara and One Direction, I can't, I'm like screaming in here. Hopefully it's not too echoey. There's almost nothing in here, just my bookshelves. But I am like I feel like I'm a super fan of people, and oh, we watched Connor's Story host SNL. Like, that's how into it me and my friends are when I say that these two people who don't read watched the show and either are reading the book or want to read the book is crazy. For two people that are younger than me, like, wanting to read books is like a novel idea now. As a person surrounded by books, not everybody loves reading as much as I do, which is okay, and these are two people who don't, but both of them have read or want to read the book. That's the market. That's the market that they want. So why is there not the tie-in cover? Before the show launched in Canada, HBO picked it up, and I could understand HarperCollins and Harlequin. I'm going to use them interchangeably. They might not be interchangeable, but I have in my notes both Harlequin and HarperCollins, so if I say the same thing, I mean both of them, just so you know. I will give them that one crumb that they didn't expect for HBO to pick it up, but now, in March of 2026, with a pre-order for a hardcover available in September, where is my tie-in? And on Rachel Reed's website, there is an FAQ page that has a lot on it, and we'll get into it because a lot of very interesting things. Question, I want a tie-in cover with Connor and Hudson on it, and I want it yesterday. Right. She says, I know, and my publisher knows, and they're working on it. Here's the thing. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Are they working on it? She can't ask that question, but I can. I'm just a girl. I'm literally just a girl. Waits at, I think I looked at both. Yeah, so waits at my library are still really long. 64 holds on 8 copies of the physical book, 489 on 87 copies of the ebook, and also the audiobook, but at least for Game Changers, if you are curious, look it up on TikTok. Sorry to this man. Maybe like 2 years ago at this point, tried to listen to the original audiobook of Fourth Wing, and as someone who is very nasally, has a lot of like congestion issues and very bad seasonal allergies, she sounded sick. So they re-recorded the audiobook when the book was super popular. And there's also a question on Rachel Reed's website about if HudCon would read Heated Rivalry. And I'm like, come on, they did the Quinn. Why not have them do it? There's just, and she doesn't own the audiobook. That is like sold to somebody else. I don't really know. But people want it. That is another thing that my friends and I have talked about wanting the audiobook done by those guys. It's fine. It's okay. So a blog post I found, which I will be linking in the description so you can see all my sources. A blog post I found calls it straight out. Did Harlequin fail Heated Rivalry? Hi, cat. From this blog post. They didn't print any extra copies, so they couldn't ship any out to bookstores. They didn't make promotional covers, obviously. But what they did do was post on social media about what a hit the show was while getting clowned in the comments. about how nobody could get the book. Like, aren't you so excited about Heated Rivalry? And they're like, we can't read this book. Where's the book? Come on. In the same blog post, they talk about Red, White, and Royal Blue, another queer romance, which had tie-in books with social media posts and events. So kind of trying to do the same thing that Harlequin did, but with books. And that might just be, I could probably end the video here and be like, why didn't they have books? Period, point blank. Why weren't there any Heated Rivalry books? Me thinks, me's questioning, me wonders. But like, they don't have books and they don't have a tie-in cover, and that's what I want. That's what I want selfishly. I want it. I want it so bad. Apparently, Harlequin only mentioned Heated Rivalry after it had already exploded. Yeah, fair. I didn't know the show was happening until like at least 2 episodes in, but I'm also not the book publisher. I'm not the publisher and I don't own any rights to this book. I didn't need to know beforehand. What do you mean? It was a Canadian show, so they didn't expect for people to care about it. They didn't even send the book to Canadian bookstores. And a Red, White, and Royal Blue is not current, or yeah, it's not a 2026 show or movie release, so okay, fine. The Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy, another hockey romance, is being adapted by Amazon, has a pre-order for the book that comes out in May with a show tie-in cover, and the publisher being Bloom. And I don't know who owns Bloom. I could look that up right now. Bloom is an imprint of Source Books. They have been buying backlists from successful indie authors and either republishing ebook and print. Okay, thank you, Reddit. Scout was yelling again. I don't know if you can hear her. And before anyone is like, well, it's not the first book in the series, so before anyone says that at the end of this video, Bridgerton. They flipped around the order of those books and even added in Queen Charlotte, and yet they had the covers. We just kind of pretended that Offer from a Gentleman didn't exist until they had the tie-in covers, but we got one with Ben and Sophie. I don't own it, but I have. They're right there. The hardcover that comes out in September is cute, but it's not what I'm looking for. I would like to see 2 boys, these 2 men, on my bookshelf. I can't. I'm just so confused. They have the capability to print new books, which is proven by them offering a hardcover in pre-order. And I love to pre-order books. I love to pay for it today, forget that I bought it, and then get a surprise in, what, 6 to 7 months. Okay, that's fine. It's not like they already have the pictures from promotional materials for the show or anything, and that if they come out with DVDs and that would be on the cover of a DVD and we still have no tie-in book, I will flip out. And so all of that to say, like, I don't need the book tomorrow. I'm working on my instant gratification, but not even an announcement. When it says on Rachel Reed's website, we're working on it. And I don't want to belabor the point, but like that blog post that I quoted from is from December. I was immediately curious about this at the beginning of this year and looked at Rachel Reed's website to see when were we going to get a tie-in cover. It's just, I know people don't like it, and I understand that. I understand that people don't like the printed on stickers that say, now a major motion picture, now on HBO. But let me know what you think. This video kind of devolved a little bit. A lot of this was scripted, believe it or not. Try to guess what wasn't scripted. I don't know. I'm just, and I didn't sit up straight the whole time. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about that? Let me know what you think. I'm so curious. I will talk about Heated Rivalry at length with anybody who wants me to. So if you have any thoughts about the show, let me know. Man, I just want that tie-in cover. And I told my mother last year, at the end of last year, I'm trying not to buy books because I don't think you can tell. Let's turn it a little bit. Let's get really close. That shelf? Yeah, those are books that will not fit because I have too many. So I was like, I'm not gonna buy books this year. And that's the one book that I want to buy. The one book that I want to buy, I can't get because it doesn't exist. Why doesn't it exist? Give it to me. Okay, well, this was fun for me. And if it's silly, that's okay. I want to embrace the silliness a little bit. Life is hard. life is hard, so we're gonna enjoy it. Hopefully next week, or hopefully next video, you'll be able to see the top of my bookshelves. Maybe I'll switch off between being in a chair and being on the floor. That seems like a fun way to go. And as I devolve, you get to see me like sprawled, which is fun. But if I'm down here, you can see Scout. I don't know, hard to say. All right, thanks for stopping by. I will see you later.